we need to get the inspection set up in the system prior to showing up on site. By scheduling an activity for the inspection from the desktop, it will appear in the inspector's schedule within the mobile version. Locating the building, which we'll do by searching for District 124, we need to be within the property we want to schedule the inspection for. Now from the Activities tab, we're going to click on Add New Activity and be sure to select the event type as the inspection. Now there's two types of inspections that occur within FCS. One is budget and the other is proposal. If you wish that the last page of the report has a signature line for the customer to authorize the repairs, you will choose proposal. If you wish that the inspection would conclude with the budget matrix, then choose budget. You can always change this afterward. This is where you select who will perform the inspection. Now, as long as the user has alerts enabled, when you schedule the inspection, they will get either an email or text or both. Select the date and time. Pick who it's with. Enter in the regarding. And if there's any details, the inspector will see this within their agenda. And click Add New Activity. Now you'll notice the system automatically placed a follow-up phone call 1 week past the scheduled inspection date. So next week when we look at our calendar, it will remind us that we've done an inspection if there's anything else that we need to do. So now let's take a look through the mobile version and start the inspection. Now that we have showed up on site, we're ready to do our inspection. Log into the mobile version and locate the schedule. Within the schedule, be sure that you're inside of the activities list, as it will display all of the CRM activities created from either the desktop version or the mobile version. From here, we're going to find the inspection that we scheduled, click into it, and it will display to you both the regarding and the details. Click Do Inspection and it will launch the inspection phase. Now the first step is to capture our aerial image. Using live Google satellite feed, the system will pull the address that we have entered in originally within the CRM. On the screen you can move the map, you can zoom in and you can zoom out. We can locate your device if the address did not pull in correctly. So we want to capture a base image as we will draw and create our sections from this aerial image. Center the image, zoom in as close as possible, and try to capture all of the sections within this property. Now if these roof areas are spread out too far, it may make sense to break this property into a few other properties. For instance, a north or south campus. So now that we've centered the image to our liking, we're going to hit the Done button, which will capture this image. The next screen gives you a preview of what we've captured, and from here we can either select Yes to save it, or select No, which will prompt us to recapture. Now we're on to front of the building. Now we recommend you try to capture a front of the building picture prior to hopping up on the roof. Make sure that you always take your photos in landscape mode, as the application instructs you to do. So we'll take our picture, which we can always update if we're not happy by clicking the camera icon. Select Next on the top right to advance. And now we need to create our roof areas or sections. Select Add Section on the bottom right, or click into an existing section if you see any there that you are doing an inspection for. Whatever section we click into or create is where all of the data will be stored at, as we only inspect one section at a time. So after clicking Add Section, it brings us to a screen where we will measure and also plot our section. You can zoom in, you can zoom out by pinching and spreading your fingers. You can lay a plot point by either tapping in the center of the crosshairs or hitting the plot button on the bottom right. Center your crosshairs over the first corner, tap or plot, and you will see the plot point drop on the map. From there, drag your cursor to the next corner, which you could either drag the cursor itself or drag the map. After you've outlined the entire perimeter, on the top left you'll see the total area that you've measured. And also note, as you're drawing out each point, you will see a rolling ruler to help you with your measurements. Now, zoom back out and preview what you've captured, and then select Next, bringing us to the section name screen. From here, we need to title this section and be sure to label it in a way where your customer would understand. For instance, this is the gymnasium section. You will see that the estimated square footage dropped in from when we measured this roof area. We need to indicate the estimated install date. You can also move the section number around by tapping where you want it to go. After our section setup is complete, we will tap Next to begin with observations. This is where we have an opportunity to bring the roof to our customer. We will do this through photos and videos. We recommend you take one video per section as it will be stored online within your portal. To begin taking observation photos, tap the camera icon on the bottom left and it will bring us to a screen that will list out all of the observations that we have captured, broken out by photos and videos. To load in our first observation photo, we'll tap the camera icon on the bottom left. Be sure to hold your device in landscape mode for all pictures you take within the system. Each observation photo has a spot for a name and also some comments. We recommend you take observations in increments of 4 photos, as the PDF printed report will have 4 images displayed per page. If you need to make any changes to anything that we've captured, tap into a picture and you can modify the name and then the comments. After we're done with observations, we'll select Next and move on to Composition. This is where we will take a picture of our core cut or surface photo. We will be able to explain the layers that make up this roof section. Clicking Add Composition, we take a picture of our test cut, enter in a name for this test cut, label the deck, and from here we will click Add Layer and type out what each layer is comprised of until we reach the surface. If we made a mistake or were unhappy with the layer, you can slide your finger and delete. After we're done labeling this test cut, we can select Done on the bottom right. Now we'll move on by selecting Next on the top right, bringing us to Deficiencies. This is where we will add in all of the problems that we encounter within this roof section. Tapping on Add Deficiency will bring us to a list of deficiencies. Select the camera icon to load in your first problem. Take the problem picture, choose the category, which will then filter down the list of types. Select the type, and you will notice the description and corrective action have been auto-populated. This is pulling from your deficiency library. We need to indicate either remedial or emergency, enter in the quantity, select the units, and if there's itemized pricing in our library, the cost will auto-populate. Select Next to plot where this is located. If there's multiple locations, plot them multiple times. After we're done, select Done, which saved our first deficiency. We're going to go ahead and add a few more. After you found all of the deficiencies you wish to include within your report, select Next, which brings us to Condition. This is where we will grade the different components of the roof system based off of simple grading scale A through F, just like in school. After we've graded the membrane, the flashings, the sheet metal, and assigned it an overall grade, we'll plug in the projected roof replacement date. Put in the cost per square foot, which will be used as a budget number, so make sure you put in a safe number and also base it off of the existing roof system that they have. After we're done with condition, we'll progress to recommendations. Select Next, indicate that you recommend repair or replacement, and also explain why your recommendation is what it is. Select Next to Advance, which brings us to a screen of which we can go back and edit our existing section, add an additional section, which we would move on to inspect the next, or complete inspection. When you complete inspection, this is the point where our activity will be complete and also penned for the pre-approval if we require it. You can tap the PDF icon, which will show you the PDF report that we've created, which we will review shortly within Inspection Report Editing. This is where we will now step through the final approval process. In order to email off this PDF inspection report, we have to request final approval. Now, after final approval, this report will be accessed through your client portal. This is the second approval that can be enabled per user to protect your company from putting out reports that are not finalized. We do not require final approval. So as we hit Request Final Approval, it advances us to the next screen of which we can now email this off. After we email this, or if we were to hit Complete Inspection at the pre-approval, it will bring us back into the property in our mobile version.